Hello and welcome back to HLS Crypto. My name is Dan. So the title of this video is, are you ready for the 2025 bull run? Important. Now that's not some kind of clickbaity title. Actually, I feel like myself, I generally feel this is quite important. So right now, I want to have a good chat with everyone who sees this video, as I think it contains important steps to be ready for the 2025 bull run. It's not going to be heavily coin focused, but it's more about what to expect and what mindset will give you the best possible chance of success and be able to change your life in 2025. If you're not happy in where you currently are in life, I recommend you watch to the end. And again, I'm not trying to be clickbaity. I generally do recommend you watch to the end because we'll go through a few things initially, and then towards the end, we'll speak little bit more about the mindset of things. And I do believe this will be useful to a lot of people. In crypto investing, many people it's either or when it comes to what an investor looks like. A lot of people, including myself, have said that there is two types of crypto investor, but I would now argue it's four and potentially more. So first, we have the smart DCA investor who chose the coins, DCA'd in every month throughout the bear. They set targets and lay it out in the bull run. Now that would be, for me, a more preferable solution. That'd be the way that I would look to go down. But second is a meme coin maxi who's constantly chasing big green candles, buys tops, and then sees big red candles and is caught up in hype and loses every month. Now, I'm sure that everyone has done this. If you've been in the space a while, I think a lot of people will look at a coin taking off and thinking, oh, it's got loads to go. Yeah, I'll get in now and still be able to get some kind of a profit. The reality is, more often than not, that plummets and then you're in trouble. I want to clarify what I mean by meme coins. I think like Pepe, there's a load of ones that just pop up left, right, and center. With likes of SHIB, Dodge, or Doge, they've kind of proven themselves to a certain extent. I think they're doing different things. I think Flocky even did some great work in terms of getting Spanish football partnerships and things like that. But again, if you bought the tops, you're still not going to be making money off those. Thirdly, the wealthy big investors who pick up Bitcoin and ETH on all dips, they already know they won't be getting huge X's. They're not going to be getting 10X's, 20X's, 30X's, 100X's, 1000X's, which is like a bit of a pipe dream. It can be done, but I mean, 1000X. These will be getting, your 2, your 3, maybe your 4X's on Bitcoins and your 5, 6, 7X's on Ethereum. But they're solid. They are solid projects. I mean, they're going to be the ones where the safe money goes, obviously. And the people who are doing that are already growing their enormous wealth. Big institutions will be doing the similar thing. The likes of Elon Musk will probably be doing similar things. They're the ones who will be getting to that particular category. But also, if you're just and I say just a millionaire, and I mean that in the very most flippant of ways. Like if you're just a millionaire, A, you're probably not watching this, and B, you're probably already doing this. So it's one of them. Fourth is the investor who isn't yet an investor. And this person can be put off for life by what they're going to experience in 2025. They'll wait, and wait. And then when the hype comes, the FOMO comes in, you hear it on the news, you hear it on adverts, you see people talking about it, you're walking down your street and people are talking about cryptocurrency, all that kind of stuff. Then they're thinking, oh, well, okay, well, now I'll invest. Problem is, the hype comes in, the FOMO comes, they buy the top and essentially become our exit liquidity. So investor number one, he's going to be selling, or he or she is going to be selling when those people that we've mentioned in investor number four are coming in to buy their bags. We're selling to them. And that's how it is. It's kind of a harsh reality for crypto, harsh reality for anything, but it is always about, it is, like I've said before, player versus player. It's not nice in that regard because it means someone has to lose. And the vast majority of the time, people who come in late into a bull run are the ones who lose. The reason why I'm making this video is to try and prevent you guys from doing this. Like I want you to be in the category of investor number one. I mean, if you're investor number three, then you've already made it. You're probably okay. but investor number one would be where, I hope you'd be. So firstly, and we've spoken about this before, it's about dollar cost averaging and also budgeting this. So we want to select our coins, and if we're coming in with low budget, so this is why we need to look at our budget first. What are we earning each month? How much are all our outgoings? What's the bit that's left? Like, what's left? And how much of that can you allocate to crypto? So if you're on $1,500 a month, for instance, or maybe $2,000 a month, and your outgoings are $1,000 a month, that leaves you between $500 and $1,000 to then put into crypto. But it doesn't, does it? Because you still need to buy things throughout the month. You still need to live throughout the month and all that kind of stuff. So work out what your budget is. For others, it may be higher. For others, it may be lower. For others, using different currency. Like for me, I use obviously Great British pounds. I'm in England. But whatever your general your currency is, what amount can you what amount can you put aside each month, essentially, or week, if that's how you're going to do it. To dollar cost average, I think is really important. You've got to be able to make sure that you choose your coins. If you're coming in with low amounts each month, I wouldn't recommend having 15, 20, 30 not meme coins, but 30 coins in general, because then you're spreading that so thin that it doesn't become worth it. If you've got a lower amount, going with the smaller amount of coins, 5, 8, 10, depending on where your budget lies. Secondly, it's coin choice, which is very important, and I always look for a minimum of 10x. So again, I've spoken about this before. I really like Quant. With Quant, Trias, HBAR, Gala. I've got Labs, but that's my lower end play because it's like I think it's got potential to be a much more bigger X. But look at the ones that you think are going to do really well. It may not be the ones I've mentioned. It may be other coins. If you want to go back through the channel and have a look at some of the coins I've mentioned, feel free to do so. But there's other coins that are on the market that you may prefer. And they may do better than the ones I've mentioned. They very well may well do. But it's about selecting coins that tend to have good use cases, have a bit of longevity, something that can really do you a good turn. And looking at a minimum of 10x will be very, very beneficial, I think, if you try and put, if you put 1,000 in, you're going to get 10,000 back and things like that. And that can ramp up the more that you manage to get into crypto. Storage, again, it's important. And I've spoken about this in previous videos. And of course, having multiple exchanges. So your storage wise, you're going to want to have some kind of cold wallet to remove them coins off an exchange. So you've got Trezor, Ledger, you've got Tangent. There are other crypto wallets, and feel free to research them. Whichever one you choose to go with, just feel comfortable with one you've got. Multiple exchange wise, the benefit of this is that during a bull run, when everyone's going nuts, multiple exchanges I think are really key. So if you've got Uphold, Binance, Coinbase, KuCoin, any OKX, Mexi, just get as many as you can, because it doesn't hurt, costs nothing to open these exchanges. And once you've got them on your cold wallet, you might be able to go, right, well, this one's having no problems at the minute. You can transfer there, sell your bag there, and pull it out into cash that way. Have clear coin targets and focus on an exit plan. So again, in previous videos, there's a Quant one, there's a Trias one, there's a HBAR video that shows the layering out process and what I would layer out to. Now you can follow that. You can adjust the numbers if you want. You can do that however you wish to do. An example of layering out would be, for me, say if you sold 20 Quant at $738, another 20 at $842. The reason why I like numbers below the round number is because human beings psychologically conditioned to try and take the money at a certain level. They'll wait for that level, whereas most people will, the big boys essentially will take that just below. So they'll go like, if you are waiting for 1,000, I'm waiting for 1,000, they'll take 998, and then the 1,000 may never come, and then you're holding it back down, and you don't want to do that. So that's something why I think psychologically maybe look at when you structure your own exit plan, structure it just below the psychological levels. Now the next points are more about mindset and how this will help you massively navigate the 2025 bull run. So we've spoken about this again, but we're going to go back through it now. Controlling emotions and making sure you still live your life in the run up to 2025. And I think this is important. So controlling your emotions is when there's a load of hype, load of despair, load of fear, load of like euphoria. Try and keep on that middle sort of level. You know, not to get too carried away. You know, not to be too despairing, and just try and make sure that you know that when there's FOMO, look at your exit strategy. See, is now the time? And when there's despair, look at that and think, well, maybe is it now time to buy? To still live your life in the run up to the bull run in 2025 is, if you look at Upfront Crypto, Matt from Upfront Crypto said the same or something very similar in regards to don't be living on a mattress, just living every minute for crypto, because that can also be quite damaging. I think it can cost you, a lot of things. Like I said recently in videos before, I'm still going through a bit of a dark time with regards to losing my partner. She was brilliant, but I was far too focused on, right, save here, save here, save here. Let's get this, chucked away into crypto in these different areas. But then again, you've got to look at what your life is like in the now. So you still want to be able to go out and have a meal. If you want to go and have a meal, do the things you still want to do. Setting some things up, like maybe if you want to cut back Netflix or different things that you currently pay on subscription that you might want to get rid of, things that don't affect your life, maybe get rid of them and still look to invest that in. And then there's obviously the active income thing. Can you bring that up? Can you do other roles? Can you do overtime? Can you do things like that to bring your money up? Therefore, to be able to put more in without sacrificing a certain amount of your quality of life. For me, I was very much more about sacrificing as much of the quality of life I could possibly have in order to try and make the biggest gains in the next bull run. Because like I said before, I want out of all this in 18 months. I don't want to wait 30 years to be able to live my life in a better way. I don't want to have a 30-year mortgage. I'd rather do it in 18 months, get it done, buy the house outright. Like for me, it's going off grid, as you know. Beware influencers, depression, and how to navigate that. Now, these are two kind of linked things. So beware influencers, and I'm not going to be calling any influencers out, because that's not the channel we want to create here. We just want to talk about real things. But you'll see and you'll notice more and more of this in 2025, that influencers will be pushing a lot of different projects that might be bad projects, for want of a better term. So now I'm not going to try and shit on all these influencers, because a lot of them are really, really positive in terms of the fact they got probably most of the people who are into crypto today into the space. So they've shown the way, essentially, in that regard. But what you see on Instagram and TikTok and different things like that about these lavish lifestyles, are they genuine? Are they accurate? Because you can make a lot of money from crypto, 100%, that is true. But are they showing like a real depiction of what life's really like? And I'd always be concerned that if you follow that too much and you follow them kind of things, then you're getting involved in the hype, and it will skew your idea of what a good life can be. Like, life-changing money can be very different to many different people. So just beware of falling into the trap of believing every single thing you see from an influencer, a TikTok celebrity, things like that, an Instagram model, for instance. Because the reality is, yeah, the people are doing that, don't get me wrong, but the vast majority won't get to that level. And then that might cause depression, which can happen. That wasn't the reason for mine. Like, I was quite low for quite a long period of time, ultimately culminating again, like I said before, losing my partner, having just a very low mood and things like that. And I'm normally generally quite a happy guy. Like, I probably don't show that enough on YouTube, because I'm still kind of unfamiliar with having a camera and talking to someone who's not there. So, like, normally you talk to people and you get the social cues, you get the body language, you understand that you're talking to a different person. The younger generation are brilliant for this, I think, because the younger generation who are brought up on like things like TikTok and things like that, they're kind of so used to talking to a screen, which is not something I'm particularly familiar with. So it's coming out of your comfort zone. How to navigate that? how to navigate depression in general is such a difficult topic, and it's something we couldn't go in depth in here because obviously it's, it's not that kind of a channel. But I just want to say to people who are maybe going through a bad time that things can improve, and the fact that you're actively taking steps, and that's by watching these kind of videos, not necessarily this particular one, but the videos that people are putting out there to show that there is other options and other ways out, may be something that's really useful to people. I mean, one of our biggest audience members now, as in our biggest amount of people who view the channel, are American. I think they get it really good with the terms of therapy and stuff like that. There is ways to talk these things through, and I'm hoping that you'll have that ability to do that here as well. Not saying this is a cure for depression by any stretch of the imagination, because it definitely isn't. And it brings you to the age-old question of, does money buy you happiness? Well, ultimately, I don't think it does. What I think money does do, though, is it buys you all the experiences, it buys you all the ability to be put in situations where you're generally going to find yourself in a happier place. Don't necessarily think the money itself provides happiness, because I think some of the best times I've had in my life has been when I've been flat broke. So I do understand that the argument for does money buy you happiness, in my answer, is probably no, but it's what you can do with that. And if, as you get older, if you don't want to have to constantly slog away at work, if you've got a 9 to 5 or whatever it is that you do that you want to have a better life with, then, money could and would, most of the time get you out of that. So have a clear plan on what you want and have fun with that side of it. So now you've probably noticed things like law of attraction. There's been loads of things over the years about the book, The Secret, the magic, law of abundance. There's loads of these different things. I'm on the fence with that. I do believe that if you commit to something and you continually build on that, then you can, improve. I think that's natural. I think that's something that should be done. Whether you can just put it on a board and it'll appear, I don't know. But I would like to think that if you are creating this new life, how you want to do it, and you're doing the DCA, you should have that plan of what you ultimately want from it. Now, it could be the fact that you want to leave your 9 to 5. Can you generate enough funds to do that? If you can, that's life-changing. Could it be clearing all of your debts, just so when your 9 to 5 paycheck comes in, it's enough to comfortably live on? That's also life-changing if you want to do it that way. Do you want to own a house outright? That's life-changing. All these things are life-changing, because life-changing, like I said before, is different to each individual person. So make sure you have a clear plan, because I think if you have a clear plan and then you target to hit that clear plan, you'll find that so much easier to sell and not hold. Because what are you holding for then? You've got your life-changing plan. Your money's there. You've done it. It would make no sense to hold. Yeah, maybe hold 1 to 5% of your bag just to let it go and see if it can moon. But once you've got your life-changing money out, then you can play around. Life is short. That's something we all need to kind of remember. I know when you're younger, you probably don't think that too much, and as you get older, you start to think about it a little bit more. And the older you get, you start to think about it a little bit too much. So it's important to remember that. So 30 years feels like a long time, right? So if you're waiting 30 years to pay off a mortgage or whatever it is you want to do, but you can do it in 18 months, you've saved yourself a large chunk, a large chunk of time for a very small chunk of time. And then 30 years go pretty quick. So how quick would 18 months go? It's worth thinking about that. 18 months is a blip in the ocean of a 60 to 80 year lifespan, So on a positive note, which is what I'd prefer to end on, because that's been a little bit, there's been a few dark moments in there. But on a positive note, the fact that you're here is great, because it means that you now have kind of a blueprint to at least follow that leads you into that 2025 bull run. It navigates a few of the pitfalls that most of us fell foul to in the 2021 bull run. And also, on a positive note, the subscribers are really, really going through the roof. We're on, I think, 252, I believe. There's been some great comments, a lot of positivity and things like that. There is one thing that someone mentioned in a comment the other day, saying that would I be getting a Telegram soon to create a group for us all to be in? The answer is no, not at this stage. I have no plans of doing that, purely down to the fact that it's a time constraint. I don't want to set up a place for everyone to come into and talk, and then not be able to kind of give you any of my time or attention, because I feel like it'd be bad. It's not what I'm here to do. I want to try and speak to as many of you as possible. I'm always trying to answer all the comments as much as I can. But like I say, I do 12-hour shifts, then I come back, I've got to do a video, I've got to get that out. I don't feel that it would give you any benefit if I set up a Telegram group for this channel at the minute. There may be something we can do as a community later on, down the line. At the minute, though, there's no plans to set up a Telegram. So if there is one that all of a sudden crops up, it isn't us. It definitely isn't me. So don't fall down the route of that, because it won't be me. I will let you know here if we ever make any changes to that statement. As of now, that there is no Telegram. There will be no Telegram. There may be in the future, but it certainly won't be soon. And if it is a thing, it'll be announced here. I'm aware this video has gone on a little bit too long compared to what we're used to on this channel, but I hope it did, resonate with a few people. And if you did like it, then like the video, comment, tell me your thoughts, and subscribe if you would. Other than that, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much, and take care.